Awards Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws in 1975. This meeting notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press on August 1st, 2017, and has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press, issue of August 3rd, 2017. All municipal clerks of townships and boroughs within the regional high school district have been duly notified, and the requirements of posting of notices have been met on August 1st, 2017. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing afterwards so we could hear a rendition of the national anthem from Rebel Yell.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Imagine someone would go to college.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Rockets red lit the bolts bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Okay, before moving on to C1 to approve the meeting minutes for March, does someone want to make an addendum to the closed session meeting?
Yes, Mr. President, just the board, in addition to the items noted on the agenda, the board also had a discussion for exception number 3. Was an update on student discipline matters.
Okay, does someone want to put forth a motion to adopt the resolution accepting the meeting minutes from the meeting that we had on March 19th?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Asatola? Yes. Mrs. Cappiello?
Abstain.
This is all garbage. I'll take it out
Mr.
later.
Carollo?
Yes.
Mrs. Montcalvo? Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Mahalo, abstain.
Mrs. Sotera?
Abstain.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Messer?
Yes. All right, moving on to D, communications. Were there any communications that were received at the board offices that we need to be aware of?
No, sir.
All right, then we're going to move on to the superintendent report. I'd like to pass it on to Mr. Sampson.
All right, thank you, Mr. Messenger. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is one of our 3 student recognition assemblies that we do during the course of the year. And we're going to recognize literally hundreds of students from across all 6 high schools this evening, and we'll go in a random order. But what I would ask, I know that this is a busy time of year for folks, but if you can see it through as much as possible, I think you'll really be impressed by the wide range of talent and accolades and excellence that our students really exude here across the region. So we're really proud of the students who are here. And parents and guardians who came out tonight, thank you for continually supporting your children and making this district the district that it is. One of the things, and I'll introduce Mr. Dillon momentarily, the Director of Guidance and Operations, to play our videos from our Caring Awards. A couple years ago, we started opening the spring student recognition with the videos from the Caring Awards, because I think that it's a wonderful way to just sort of capture the spirit of this evening right off the bat with 6 exceptional students from across our district. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Dillon.
Thank you, Mr. Sampson. We're going to kick off this evening recognizing 6 exceptional seniors, one from each of our high schools. The students who you will see tonight have demonstrated an exceptional caring and compassion to a cause, group, or program during their high school career. Before we actually call them up and honor them, they've actually assembled some quick 2-minute videos to show what they've done throughout their high school career. So please turn your attention to the video screens and enjoy the show.
To receive the Caring Award for 2018. I'd like to thank Mr. Zadarsky, Dr. Blakely, and Mr. Carino for nominating me, and my family and friends who taught me the importance of serving other people in greater causes. I've participated in the Marlboro Youth Exchange Program from 9th grade through 12th grade, representing my town as an ambassador and leader. I attended Chinese and Japanese classes to learn the native languages and cultures for when I traveled to China and Japan, and then taught an English class to middle school students in these 2 countries. At first the children were shy, but after working with, playing with, and helping them, I was able to surpass the language barrier and they became more confident in their communication. We also made 1,000 paper cranes to display at the Hiroshima Memorial. I was amazed how this experience enriched my own life and other participants' lives. Together we built meaningful multicultural and educational experiences which enabled people in the community to recognize what it is to be responsible global citizens working for peace and understanding in a diverse world. I will be returning to Suzhou, China this summer to help more kids as the teacher of an educational ESL summer camp. I also actively participate in my school community as a member of Leo Club, National Honor Society, National Art Honor Society, the President of Chinese Club, and the Vice President of Korean Club. As a member and leader in these organizations, I have helped coordinate and run school events and local charities such as club meetings, visiting retirement homes, Iron Chef competitions, and International Day. My Mandarin teacher also gave me the opportunity to get involved in the New Jersey Chinese Cultural Studies Foundation, which has allowed me to conduct extensive research and spread cultural awareness as I pursue making a change in my community and in the world. Finally, I'm involved in Marlboro Township events such as Marlboro Day, Multicultural Day, Senior Fun Day, book sales, summer concerts, Veterans Day, and more. I help to organize these events, volunteer, and even take on creative roles such as designing t-shirts and flyers, and performing as an MC and on guitar to help bring unity to the residents of my town. I also tutor elementary and middle school students in Marlboro who need additional assistance with their school materials, and on weekends I volunteer as a teacher's assistant at Monmouth Chinese School at Frank J. Dugan Elementary School. By participating in these events and groups, I've developed a deep connection with my community, and I've had the chance to assist others. I feel blessed that I've had so many opportunities to give back and that I'll have many more opportunities in the future. It is my sincere belief that anyone who cares enough can change the world.
By Mrs. Vega, Mr. Paddocky, and Dr. Angelosi for the 2018 Caring Award. I am so grateful to attend such a great school that encourages me to pursue goal after goal. In 2010, I founded the nonprofit organization Kick It Cancer, which is a unique organization fundraising for cancer awareness, promoting leadership skills, and encouraging others to become confident in all of their endeavors. I started this cause after my grandmother passed away from lung cancer in 2010. I started my first fundraiser in 5th grade as a representative for student council and hosted a lemonade stand. I never would have thought raising $100 would turn into $25,000 and something much greater for the next 7 years. Throughout the years, I have worked closely with the American Cancer Society and the American Lung Association to raise funds for transportation for cancer patients to get to chemotherapy. I began to implement leadership and confidence by creating my own leadership workshops called Future Speaker Society, which were recognized by the New Jersey Department of Education. As a title holder for the Miss America organization, I have had the opportunity to travel across the state to implement kidney cancer. I had the amazing experience of visiting my former elementary school to talk to students from kindergarten to 5th grade about leadership skills and starting something of their own, just like I did. I read my original children's book to a class called Reaching the Goal and worked with the students to create goal sheets.
Things that we learned from kidney cancer's film are eat healthy, always wear sunscreen, stay away from smokers, and make a difference.
Throughout my experience, I have also created the hashtag Make It Happy campaign for Super Bowl 49 with Coca-Cola to promote confidence, passed a bill with the New Jersey State Legislature for more pediatric care funding, and partnered with Chevrolet to create the hashtag I Drive For breast cancer awareness campaign. Aside from the nonprofit, I have held numerous leadership roles in my school and my community, serving as president of Student Council, president of the Italian Honor Society, New Jersey State Communications Director for Future Business Leaders of America, government relations intern for Manalapan Mayor John McNamara, presenter at Team Challenge and Consumer Bowl competitions, and a student at Harvard's American Government Summer Program. It was more than thousands of dollars I raised and the hundreds of people to whom I got my message across. The personal growth I experienced during my mission to help others has forever impacted me. I learned that confidence and motivation can propel you to achieve goal after goal. I learned that marketing an idea can have a powerful influence to others. But most importantly, I learned that when life gives you lemons, you can definitely make lemonade. One small idea can truly spark a change.
My name is Jane McDevitt, and I'm a senior at Howe High School. I'm so honored and humbled to have been chosen as a recipient of the Monmouth County Caring Award. My love for volunteering was born about 6 years ago when I founded my own nonprofit organization, an annual charity soccer marathon and gift auction called Madison Beggs Kicks for Kids. I was inspired to create this organization after my good friend Madison Beggs lost her 22-month battle against brain cancer in June of 2012. She inspired me so much through her fight, teaching me to be strong, to never give up, and to have faith. Most impactful was her motto to take things one day at a time. So through my soccer marathon, we worked to fight childhood cancer one kick at a time. The day of the event is a lot more than just soccer. There's a gift auction, 50-50, dunk tank, inflatables, food, music, games, a bone marrow drive, and more. As president, to prepare for this multilateral event in September, I begin each March to gain sponsors, acquire team registrations, plan and run open volunteer meetings, and delegate to different committees. I meet with CEOs, advertise, give speeches, acquire about 200 volunteers each year, and more. Madison Beggs Kicks for Kids is a success each year, bringing together over 1,000 members of the community to fight back against pediatric cancer. Following our 2017 6th annual event, we have donated over $132,000 to 9 different foundations and hospitals to fund research or to support the kids and families. Kicks for Kids has given me the opportunity to work with a larger organization called the Francis Foundation, where I was added as a junior trustee. Through this role, I am able to get to know the kids and families facing cancer and see the bright smiles that my organization has the power to create. It is the smiles that inspire my passion for volunteering. This passion wouldn't be possible without my school and community, who offer me endless support and encouragement. My name is Emily Dolan and I am a senior at Freehold Township High School. I would like to begin by thanking my guidance counselor, Mrs. Kearns, for nominating me for this award. I became involved in my community when I was 5 years old, when I joined a Girl Scout troop at my elementary school. At first, I only joined to do fun crafts and hang out with my friends. Little did I know, my involvement in the community would become an important aspect of my life. The second highest award in Girl Scouts is the Silver Award. I chose to pursue this award after earning my Bronze Award. I've always had a passion for making others smile, and when I learned that over 6 million people over the age of 65 are affected by depression in the United States, I decided that I wanted to help. For my service project, I teamed up with local troops and visited local senior centers. I planned crafts and activities to do at each monthly visit. I expected to have fun with the seniors, but I actually developed a strong bond with many of them, hearing about what they ate for lunch, what their grandchildren were up to, learning about their past, and quite literally everything in between. I intend to continue being active, not only in my local community, but the national and international communities as well. Through community service, I've learned that in order to see a positive change, action must be taken. Continuing to help people who inspired my journey is my mission. And even though I'm not moving mountains or parting the sea, I am humbled to know that I'm helping each individual senior in my community, one by one, smile by smile.
I'm from Freehold High School, and I just want to thank Ms. Fabian for nominating me for the Caring Award. It's an honor. I am part of the 11.3 million undocumented immigrants living in the United States of America. Due to that fact of me being a DACA recipient, I've made it my job to be an activist within my community. I've been in several events where I've talked about my journey as a dreamer, and have talked about the struggles we undocumented immigrants go through in our daily lives. I, along the side of many others, are fighting every single day to be heard by the government, because we too want to live our American dreams. I hope that one day we may have peace as a community. I've associated myself with several organizations who are also fighting for the 11.3 million undocumented immigrants in the United States, like the Latino Action Network and Latino Festival, which are part of the Latino Coalition, and with another organization called Casa Freehold. I've been a panelist at K University and at Rutgers University during youth conferences. I've also been interviewed by the Asbury Park Press on several occasions to speak about why I find it important to keep fighting for our rights as a community. And as a student, I am part of the National Honor Society, DECA, HOPE, and AVID, which stands for Advanced Via Individual Determination. I have represented my school in the summer of 2017 at the Summer Institute along with other students to show new incoming teachers what AVID is all about, which is college bound. My teachers and mentors at FRHS have been a huge help in my journey. They've always motivated me to work hard and never stop fighting for my dreams, and for that I am thankful.
Hi, my name is Cameron Georges, and I am a senior at Colton High School. I would like to thank my guidance counselor, Ms. Lipkowski, the rest of the guidance department, and the Colton High School administration for nominating me for the 2018 Caring Awards. I am extremely humbled to be given this amazing award. I like staying active in my school community by participating in the Cougar Theater Company plays and directing the school musicals. I am also one of the vice presidents of the Student Council Executive Board and a peer leader of Colton High School. I also enjoy participating in Battle of the Classes, the Community Service Club, and Knitting for Charity. But there is one club that has impacted my high school experience the most, and that has been Cougar Connections. Growing up with a sister with Down syndrome taught me how important it is for special needs students to feel accepted and a part of something throughout their high school career.
With Cougar Connections, I had the opportunity to firsthand see how much joy my sister brought to others and how much she is accepted, despite her differences. Cougar Connection provides special needs students the chance to socialize with other students. Being a part of this club has allowed me to organize events such as special needs talent shows, which allows students to showcase their talents, and Buddy Olympics, which provides the special needs peers to interact with other students in the school in an active way. Being involved in these events has inspired me to continue my passion for helping others and study special education and speech pathology in college. Being a part of this club gives special needs students a place to feel accepted and are encouraged to share their talents and interests with other students. I would like to thank Colts Neck High School for giving me and all students the opportunity to have an amazing high school experience.
All right, I don't know what I've been doing my entire life, but certainly feeling a little inadequate after watching those 6 outstanding videos. So I'd like to call down the 6 Caring Award recipients at this point in time. You guys come on down, they're in the audience.
We are very proud to honor the following students from Colts Neck High School: Ms. Karen Georges. From Freehold Borough High School, Ms. Yami Hernandez. From Freehold Township High School, Ms. Emily Dolan. From Howell High School, Ms. Jane McDevitt. From Manalapan High School, Ms. Victoria Giardina. And from Marlborough High School, Ms. Jacqueline Alice.
All right, I'd now like to call up Mrs. Jewell from Freehold High School.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very confident that I speak for all of you out there, the parents, the guardians. I think I have some sets of grandparents in the audience, the athletes, the students, all of whom are here tonight to receive recognition for some pretty spectacular things. But the thank you is really to Mr. Sampson, our superintendent, members of Central Administration, and the Board of Education, who through their governance and their support allows us at the building levels to provide so many varied opportunities for the almost 11,000 students in this district. It's just remarkable. When you sit here tonight and you hear this one did this and this one did that, I mean, that's just a kickoff for some of the other accolades that you'll hear. So I'd like you to join me in thanking the people who are part of it behind the scenes. How this is going to work tonight is that as the lead off, I'll be giving a little bit of a background for some of the recognition of students from every school. And then when that principal comes up, he or she will give those specific names. So the logistics are also, if you're not all going to be able to make your way down this aisle, but if you come down either this aisle or that aisle, you'll get your medal, and then you'll stand in front of the stage for a photo op. Because what is this night without a photo op? I'm going to begin with the National Merit Scholarship Program. I have 2 students from Freehold High School, so if I could have Melissa Hobb and Anisha Dada. Melissa's here. Anisha wasn't sure she could be here this evening. Let me tell you a little bit about the National Merit. Melissa is a finalist. So it starts out with a PSAT, and more than 1.5 million students in this country take the PSAT. Then this program honors individual students who show outstanding, exceptional, actually, academic ability and the potential for success in college. There are tiers of recognition. So you have 1.5 million students take the PSATs. Then they begin to kind of funnel it down, and the first level is with commended students. Usually, at the 1.5, you have about, any given year, 34,000 commended students. From that, there's additional input that we are required at each of the high school levels to send to the National Merit Program. And then, from the commended students, it's pared down to about 16,000 semifinalists. So you've gone from 1.5 million to 16,000. And then now to the finalist level, of which Melissa and others in this audience tonight are National Merit finalists. So from 1.5 million, you go down to 15,000 in any given year across this country. And typically, these students will be offered approximately $32 million in scholarship money. I'm very proud of the two students from Freehold High School who have advanced to the finalist level. Melissa, I spoke with her today and she still is undecided. Is it going to be the University of Maryland or Rutgers? She's not quite sure. So congratulations. Melissa, I did want to add, is in our computer science magnet program, and right now we're engaged in competition at a lot of different levels as part of the magnet program, and they're doing an awesome job, and they'll be, I'm not quite sure where you're going over Memorial Day weekend, but it'll be someplace exotic. This district is very committed to the arts, and part of that is our music programs. We routinely have all shore, all state, all region, both instrumentally as well as vocally. And I'm very proud that this year we have 4 students instrumentally. So if I could ask the following students, please, to come forward. Zachary Chalnick and Ruan Jamal. They are members of the All Shore Symphonic Band. Harry Alex, All Shore Jazz Band. And David Kim, All State Orchestra. Congratulations. And also an acknowledgement. We're a one-person show in the music department at Freehold High School. So Mr. Eric Rose, he is responsible, for helping these young musicians move along. So congratulations. If I could ask Erica Ton to come forward, please. Erica is a very talented junior in the District Medical Science Magnet Program, which is housed at Freehold High School. And this year, she earned the Google Coding 2017 Grand Prize winner. Now, to put this in perspective, it's a global, not national, global, online. I keep saying that, it's remarkable to me. It's an online contest that encourages high school students to use a range of skills like coding, design, quality assurance, research, and outreach while contributing to open source software. If that sounds like it's a foreign language to you, it is also to me, but I know she's really good at it. Google Coding in 2017 had 3,555 students participate from across the globe, 78 countries. with only 50 students chosen as grand prize winners. Erica was named grand prize winner for her work with the Sisters community. It's a community for women technologists, and for her exceptional contributions to open source software. In June, Erica will be traveling for a 4-day trip to Google's main campus. She will meet with Google engineers, her mentors, and the other grand prize winners from around the world. What an amazing, amazing experience for her. Erica's, a bit of bragging, Erica is joined by 4 other winners from Freehold High School, one in 2010, one in 2012, one in 2014, and Erica in 2018, so quite an achievement. Erica was also recently notified that she has been selected to attend the Governor's School of Engineering and Technology at the Rutgers School of Engineering this summer. She will be there the entire month of July, will take 4 academic classes, complete an intensive research and/or design project with a group of 3 to 5 students, go on site visits to local corporations, and meet peers and professionals from across the state. So another wonderful opportunity for a very talented young lady. Now I'm going to invite Mr. Alonso, the supervisor of extracurricular activities, to the podium, also from Freehold High School.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'd also like to thank the Board of Ed and Mr. Sampson for having us here for this wonderful evening. We're going to recognize an Eagle Scout this evening. I'd like to just give you a little background on the Eagle Scout Award itself. The Eagle Scout is the highest achievement or rank attainable in the Boy Scouting program of the Boy Scouts of America. Only 4% of Boy Scouts are granted this rank after a lengthy review process. The requirements necessary to achieve this rank take years to fulfill. Since its founding, the Eagle Scout rank has been earned by almost 2.5 million young men. Requirements include at least 21 merit badges. The Eagle Scout must demonstrate Scout spirit and ideal attitude based upon Scout oath and law, service, and leadership. This includes an extensive service project that the Scout plans, organizes, leads, and manages. Eagle Scouts are presented with a medal and a badge that visibly recognizes the accomplishments of the Scout. We would like to recognize Freehold High School senior Kenny Tomkovich. Come on down, Kenny. Kenny earned the rank of Eagle Scout by constructing bat boxes for a local Girl Scout camp, Camp Sacagawea. Bat boxes serve as a home for up to 100 bats. Bats serve as nature's pesticide by helping control the bug population, while at the same time alleviating the need for harmful pesticides that destroy the environment. Kenny's project consisted of not only constructing the boxes, painting the boxes, and hanging them at the Girl Scout camp. In addition to receiving his Eagle Scout this evening, Kenny also received the Dwight D. Eisenhower Award during his junior year for academic achievements. He also received the Vince Lombardi Award this past fall as a member of our football team, and he was recently selected to the 2018 Academic All-Shore football team. Kenny will be attending Boston College in the fall. And a little bit more background. This evening, we will also be recognizing some of the outstanding wrestlers that our district has to offer. Wrestlers who placed in not only districts, regions, but at the state level as well. The district championships serve as a first round of the state tournament for wrestlers. The top place winners in each weight class advance to the regional tournament. The regional tournament consists of 39 local schools, all vying for a trip to Atlantic City and a shot at a state title. We would like to recognize one of our outstanding, sophomore wrestlers, Nico Messina. So Nico had a very historic sophomore season. Nico finished the season 34-4 and now owns a 2-year record of 68-8. Nico won the Garden State Classic, the Homedale Holiday Tournament, back-to-back District 23 championships, as well as being named District Outstanding Wrestler of the tournament. He followed up his second place finish in the regional tournament last year by becoming Freehold High School's first Region 6 tournament champion since 1964. Yes, 1964. Nico's goal is getting to the top of the podium in Atlantic City and one day being crowned a state champion. Congratulations, Nico. Once again, congratulations to all the medal recipients and your families. You all have a lot to be proud of. Thank you for coming out, and good night.
Thank you, Mr. Barlow. I'd like to call Dr. Donahue and the first 19.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and again, on behalf of Colts Neck High School, I would like to thank the board, Mr. Sampson, Central Administration for tonight. It's truly amazing to come out here and see all the talent and somebody who lives in the community. I recognize a lot of the kids from other things, and Kenny over at Freehold Borough, who works at the Challenger program in Freehold Township. So these kids all really do so many incredible things that we're not even talking, we don't even recognize tonight at the board meeting, such talented kids. So congratulations to everybody. I want to first bring up tonight Jacob Kachian, who is scored a perfect 800 on the math SAT. That's one time. One time. So, congratulations, Jacob. That's an outstanding achievement. Tonight, we'd also like to honor 4 all-shore musicians from Colts Neck High School. First, I'd like to bring up Mark Rivlis, who is a senior on drums. And Mark will be attending actually Wake Forest University in the fall. I know as an alum, Mr. Manalapan wanted to get that. Congratulations. Mark was student of the month too recently. And Sam Broad, sophomore on drums. They were in the All-Shore Jazz Band. We also had a couple of students in the All-Shore Symphonic Band. Alexandra Greco, a sophomore, All-Shore Symphonic Band. Alexandra, come on up. She was also a student of ROTC. And Jessica Mina, junior. Congratulations, Mark and Sam. Thank you. As you may know, Colts Neck High School has an outstanding ROTC program. At the 2018 Navy National Junior ROTC Orienteering Championships in Florida, Colts Neck High School had 2 students take first place. I would like to call down Sarah Shaughnessy and Grace Suhaki. Just a little bit about the NJROTC Orienteering Championship. It involves a combination of cross-country running and the application of navigational skills, where the competitors are tasked to find locations as they run a course, and they must register electronically when they find specific locations until they finish the course. The goal is to find all the locations and find the course, so it is not only running stamina, but intellectual ability as well. So congratulations to Sarah and Grace. Sarah is a senior, and she took first place on all the females on the orange course. Sarah will be continuing her athletic and academic career at Wagner in the fall. Grace took first place in all the females on the yellow course. So congratulations, Grace. And Grace is a freshman, so there's going to be great things in NJROTC from Grace coming in the future. I would also like to call down Carmela Apostle, Michael Fluck, Jacob Thack, Ella Bowen, and Maxwell Miller. These Colts Neck students finished in first place in the Area 4 NJROTC Brain Roll Championships in New York. They competed against 12 teams from throughout Region 4, which is Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York, New Jersey. The competition included a broad-based academic competition covering topics such as science, history, geography, and the NJROTC curriculums. And they'll be competing out in the national championships later on this year. So congratulations to our Brain Brawl champions. We have a couple more ROTC awards. We had a very good year in ROTC once again. The next 40 students were part of the NJROTC Area 4 Academic, Athletic, and Drill Championships. If you are a part of the team, please come forward. These team members include Carmela Apostle, Ella Bohm, Marissa Brandon, Erica Cunningham, Nicole Dado, Isabella Ferrandino, Lauren Gleason, Sarah Heed, Grace Hugel, Isabella Lafada, Amy McGee, Kelly McGovern, Mary Kate McNamara, Krista Panarello, Elizabeth Polakov, Emily Safay, Taylor Shandell, Bianca Segura, Victoria Zilber, Lucas Abdaheo, Owen Vaccaro, William Dean, David Don, Christopher Ferrandino, Michael Fluck, Christopher Halmy, Tyler Higley, Richard Kimball, Eric Lee, James McNamara, Robert McNamara, Maxwell Miller, Louis Pergola, Chandler Reed, Robert Shandell, Connor Smith, Jacob Thack, Harry Weber, Michael Whitehead, and George Zemelicki. A little bit about what these kids won. These students competed in a variety of challenges. Academic, 15 students competed independently. They took a 100-question test, whose cumulative scores were calculated. In athletics, 8 male and 8 female students had to compete with push-ups, curl-ups, and an indoor shuttle relay. The drill portion of the competition involved 28 ROTC cadets that competed in a military drill-style exercise. All the scores were tallied, and Colts Neck High School finished first in Region 4, which includes all those states I talked about. So congratulations to our students. They recently just returned from Pensacola, Florida, where they did compete in the national championships and fared very well. So they are an outstanding program, and I know Major Penzak's here, so I didn't call him up, but he's over there. I just want to wave at him. He does an outstanding job with our program. Thank you, Major Penzak. Okay, I'd like to bring up Nicole Dado. She represented the NJROTC program in the New Jersey Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. She won the Enhanced Cadet Award. Each STAR chapter will select an outstanding NJROTC cadet and enter that cadet into their state society's Outstanding Cadet Competition. The winner of the state competition is entered into the National Outstanding NJROTC Recognition Program. The winner of the national program receives a special award at the SARS National Congress, and Nicole will be representing New Jersey for that program. The NJ SARS program also recognized Nick Fisher. He was the New Jersey Rumba Historical Oration winner. The National Society of the Sons of the American Revolution invites all high school students, 9 through 12, interested in the American Revolution to participate in the Joseph S. Rumba Historical Oration Contest. This contest is open to all students attending homeschools, public schools, really any school up to private schools in New Jersey in that grade range. Each student's 5 to 6 minute speech and accompanying manuscript will be judged based on its composition, delivery, significance, and historical accuracy and relevance. Nick won the New Jersey title, and he will be representing Colts Neck High School in the state of New Jersey in the national competition. Congratulations. Nick had a double whammy. Nick was recently admitted to the NJ Scholars Program. They only picked 39 students in the state of New Jersey, and Nick was one of them as a junior. Okay, we have a couple of Eagle Scouts, so I'd like to call up Matthew Filosa. Matthew designed and built a sign dedicated to the U.S. Coast Guard at Station Shark River in Avon, New Jersey. It included information on the station's many rescue cases and general history of the Coast Guard. To complete this project, Matthew led a group of 24 volunteers, totaling almost 200 man-hours. Congratulations, Matthew. Robert Shandell. Robert rebuilt the rain garden for the Oakley House on nearby Wemrock Road. He led approximately 40 volunteers to weed the garden, spread mulch throughout the garden, and build up the berm. The rebuild included new plants that were meant to attract monarch butterflies. Robert also built a freestanding kiosk to inform or to give information out about the garden. To complete the project, Robert raised over $300. Congratulations, Robert. Josh Sachs. Josh restored an old fence at the Colts Neck Library with new cedar fence and pergola. Josh had to remove and replace all the planks from the fence. He painted the posts, lattice, and all the new planks were installed. Once he finished this portion of the project, he installed the pergola and gate for the fence. Over 330 hours to complete this project. So, congratulations, Josh. David Donald. Is David here? I didn't see David. There you are, David. Okay. David's project was to design and build 10 new picnic tables for the Girl Scouts Camp Sacagawea. To complete his project, David enlisted the help of 30 volunteers and contributors. With the help of those friends and family, David raised over $1,200 and got donations from Woodhaven Lumber. The project took over 220 man-hours to complete. Congratulations, David. And Jack Shazat. While volunteering at the Marlborough Community Garden, he built a kiosk bulletin board and composting bins for his Eagle Scout project. So congratulations, Jack. Very good job. I'd like to now introduce our Supervisor of Extracurricular Activities, Mr. Rick Arneo, who will talk about some of our athletic awards.
I'd first like to thank administration, the Board of Education for giving us the opportunity to recognize the academic and athletic achievements of our students tonight. I would also like to congratulate the administration, coaches, parents, and students from our sister schools. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. The first two district medal Colts Neck athletes I would call down today are actually at the team banquet tonight, and we didn't know until last minute that there was a conflict there. Mike Janucci and Joey King, both were District 21 champions. I'll talk a little bit about Mike, 182-pound weight class. This is his second District 21 title in as many years, and he's, although just a sophomore, he's got 53 career wins to this point. Joey King, 120-pound weight class. He's a District 21 champion. He was runner-up in Region 6, 5th place winner in the state of New Jersey in Atlantic City. Joey has reached 143 career wins, which makes him the all-time winningest wrestler in Colts Neck High School history. Joey will continue wrestling and his academics at the College of New Jersey in the fall. Congratulations to both Mike and Joey. Morgan Gitlitz. Is Morgan here? Morgan, come on down. Morgan is one of the reasons Colts Neck Girls Bowling is on the rise. She was named first team All-Shore, second team All-State according to Jersey Bowling, third team All-State according to NJ.com. She was named All-District NJSIAA Central Jersey champion with a 691 series, which is a 230 average, which is incredible. She was the top bowler in the Monmouth County tournament with a series of 654. She had a 192 league average, which made her the top female in the league. In addition to these individual accolades, Morgan and her teammates won the school's first ever state sectional championship. So congratulations, Morgan. Colleen Meggerly. Colleen here. She is. As a junior, Colleen has become a regular at the FRHSD District Medals Award Ceremony. She earned first team All-Shore for the 800 meter. She placed 4th in Group 3 with a time of 2 minutes and 17 seconds. She placed 7th in the event at the Meet of Champions. This is Colleen's 3rd time being named first team All-Shore in her high school career. Congratulations, Colleen. Emma Shaughnessy. Come on up, Emma. Only a freshman. Emma earned first team All-Shore, won both Monmouth County and the short conference meets in the breaststroke. While doing so, she set a school record with a time of just over 1 minute and 6 seconds. Her efforts helped Colts Neck High School swim team to a 12-2 record and to the school's first ever appearance in the state sectional finals I have a feeling we're going to see her for 3 more years up here. Congratulations, Emma. That concludes the district medals for Colts Neck High School. Again, congratulations.
I do want to point out with the Google code, in 2014, we were the first district in the world to have 3 champions, and now we have 4. So there's no other district in the world that has even had 3 champions. So it's just, Mrs. Jewell forgot that, so I want to describe that. I'd like to call up Dr. Bleakley in Marlborough.
Good evening all, and congratulations to all the district medal winners and their families. Marlborough High School will begin with recognition of a number of students associated with our Model United Nations Club. On January 5th, 6th, and 7th this year, the 47th Annual Model United Nations Conference was held at Hershey Lodge and Convention Center. At the convention, the Marlborough delegation earned multiple awards and had several students elected to leadership positions. The first student I'll call up is David Brunetta. At the conference, David was elected to the position of Secretary General for the 2018-2019 school year. The Secretary General is the Chief Executive of the Model United Nations. David was elected by 48 delegations of nearly 2,500 students. The Secretary General has a variety of responsibilities, including but not limited to coordinating the efforts of the delegations across the Mid-Atlantic region, developing discussion topics for each committee at next year's conference, mediating disputes, good luck with that one, David, and overseeing a sizable budget. Congratulations to David. This really is quite an honor and a really big deal. We also had one student from our delegation elected to the position of Committee Chair, Model UN Officer. This position heads an entire committee of up to 100 delegates and decides upon the agenda and committee topics. The committee chair also works to further the agenda of the Secretary General. The elected committee chair from Marlborough High School for the 2018-2019 school year is Shiza Mansar. The next 6 students, I'm going to call them up and we'll talk about their achievement. I'd like to call up Emma Chin, Ryan Corbin, Samil Jain, Alex No, Nisha Patel, and Krishna Telamani. These students have in common that all 6 of them received the honor of Outstanding Country Research Paper at the Model UN Conference. This honor is awarded to the delegate that wrote the most informational and innovative country research paper in their respective committees. Delegates spend about a month writing these documents that are meant to inform their committee chairs on their respective countries and the committee topics. The Marlborough Delegation Award winners were Emma Chin for the Asia Pacific Summit, Ryan Corbin of the Group of 20, Samil Jain of the Council of Economic Advancement, Alex No of Political and Security, Nisha Patel of Middle East and North Africa Summit, and Krishna Talamati of the Security Council. Congratulations to these students on their excellent work. I'd also like to just announce we have 4 students at Marlborough High School that also achieved the commendation of National Merit Finalists. All 4 of them could not be here tonight, but I would like to recognize them by quickly calling out their names. There's Shreya Das, Shreya Naraparahu, Ryan Wang, and Anthony Wu. Again, we're all National Merit Finalists. Switching gears to athletics, I'd like to call up Gianna Gomez. Gianna has been here before, as she is one of the most accomplished track athletes in school history. Next year, Gianna will be taking her talents to East Stroudsburg University, where she will continue her track and field career. For For the winter track season, Gianna had the #1 long jump in the short conference with a jump of 18 feet. Gianna's long jump of 18 feet also broke the Monmouth County winter track and field record. Gianna also had the #1 triple jump in the short conference this year with a jump of 37 feet 8 inches. In addition, Gianna has earned the claim of U.S. ATF Youth Girls 17-18-year-old National Champion in the triple jump for her jump of 37 feet 4 inches. Gianna will be competing in the Triple Jump Championship of America this Thursday at the Penn Relay Championships. Congratulations, Gianna, and good luck to you. That concludes the medal winners from Marlboro High School.
Thank you, Dr. Blakely. I'd like to call Mrs. Higley in Freehold Township. Gianna, I couldn't do 37 feet if I was driving in the car for half of it.
I thought we go last.
Good evening. I also would like to congratulate all of those who are in attendance tonight, the students who are being recognized, and also for the parents who have given up I know many hours in order to support your students, and to the Board of Ed and to Mr. Sampson. First, we are recognizing a young lady, Ariana Atkinson, who has reached the pinnacle of Girl Scouting by achieving her gold Girl Scout award. Ariana started Daisies at the age of 5 and continues to help with cleanups and plans to do so in the future. The Girl Scout Gold Award is the highest award in Girl Scouts. It is open only to girls in high school. As a Gold Award Girl Scout, you're challenged to change the world, or at least your corner of it. For Ariana's project, she created a garden at the YMCA that will grow food to be donated to the Open Door. She combined this with a food drive at the YMCA that brought in a huge donation. Her efforts have resulted in her being able to supply Open Door with fresh vegetables all of last summer. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Brasati, who will be introducing our 17 members of the band who will receive the fellowships.
Thank you, Mrs. Higley. I would like to echo everybody's sentiments in terms of all the accomplishments for these students and student athletes throughout the district. Thanking the Board of Education and Administration. As Mrs. Higley referenced, we have a number of band members that had their hard work pay off with All Shore honors, either as part of the symphonic band and or the jazz band. At this time, I'd like to invite all of our Patriot Nation band members that are in attendance this evening to come to the front and receive their medal. As they make their way up, ladies and gentlemen, as they make their way up, I'm going to introduce each of them and what they earned. So we have Andy Marie Balla, who was All Shore Symphony on the flute. Andrew Solaru, who was All Shore Symphony, and he was the top oboe scorer in the entire shore. Michael Boney was All Shore Symphony on the clarinet and All Shore Jazz Band on the trombone, so that's 2 All Shores, 2 different instruments. Daniel Ealing was All Shore Symphony on the clarinet. Ryan Gibbons was All Shore Symphony on the clarinet. Kaylee Hoffman was All Shore Symphony on bass clarinet. Kyra Cobbs, All Shore Symphony on the trumpet. Kevin Arizapana was All Shore Symphony and Jazz Band on the trumpet. Caitlin Potter, All Shore Symphony on the horn. Simon Clark, All Shore Symphony on the horn. Julia Feldman, All Shore Symphony on the horn, and she was the number 3 trombone for the jazz band. Gianna Garrett, All Shore Symphony, she was the 2nd best euphonium in the shore. Holly Ann Tobin was All Shore Symphony, she was the top mouth scorer in the shore. Amelie Guinea was All Shore Symphony, and she was the top timpani scorer in the shore. Eugene Binkowski, All Shore Jazz Band on the trumpet. William Carmody, All Shore Jazz Band on the trumpet. And James Harper, All Shore Jazz Band percussion. Congratulations to all of them. And I'd like to note that, as you can probably tell from how long it took me to get through that, Freehold Township High School had the most total representation of any school in the Shore Conference on the All Shore bands. So congratulations again to our students that earned that. Our band director, Mr. Gary. Patsy puts in countless hours with these young men and women. So congratulations. All right, I'm going to bring up my wrestlers. I know I saw Avery out there, and I don't know if Kyle, Eric are here, but Avery, come on up. And I'm also going to bring up Sophia Yun, and I'll talk about their accomplishments as they make their way up. Talking about Avery. Avery is, like many of our students here, multitasking. He came directly from a lacrosse game where, as a freshman, he is getting some varsity time. Avery was our district wrestling champion for District 24 at 113 pounds. He's only the second freshman in school history to win a district championship and the first to do so in the last 18 years. Avery Clark. Thank you, Avery. Sophia Young, who's also up here, is a sophomore, and she earned first team All-Shore in winter track and field. She's a high jumper there. She won the county championship in that event, and she's working towards earning her way to what probably is, the third or fourth meet of champions this June, hopefully. Okay, so as a sophomore, she's hoping to make it to every meet of champions in her career. Congratulations, Sophia. Although they're not here, I will at least recognize Eric Forty, who was a senior wrestler. He won his second consecutive district championship at 195 pounds. And Kyle Hillermeyer, who at 170 pounds won the District 24 championship en route to placing 8th in the state at the state tournament. And lastly, I'm going to bring up Coach Whitford and the members of our girls bowling team that are in attendance this evening. I only have the girls bowling team here, but I'll take the moment to say that both of our bowling teams, male and female, won division championships. The girls are here because they went beyond that. They not only won the division, they won the Monmouth County Championship as a team, and for the second year in a row, they won the Central Jersey State Sectional Championship Group 3. Congratulations to Coach Whitford, who is here, and Coach Ferranda, who could not be here. Our state champion bowlers, the three of them that are in attendance this evening, are Sarah Orensky, Kristen Tagliaro, and Jaden Schaefer. We also have Brooke Bushover, Tamira White, Alexandra Barrera, Giannis Friesi, Caitlin Tamai, and Sarah Adley. Like I said, this is the second consecutive state sectional championship. The three young ladies that are standing there, you have sophomore, freshman, sophomore. So we anticipate at least 2 more years of these types of accolades. Congratulations. That concludes the district medal recipients for Freehold Township. Thank you again. Congratulations, everybody.
I'd like to call Dr. Angelosi, Manalapan High School.
Good evening. I would first like to thank the Board of Education, the Central Office Administration, and Mr. Sampson for honoring our schools and our students this evening. Additionally, I would like to congratulate all of the other district medal recipients. So, first up from Manalapan High School is Ariel Rakovinsky. Is Ariel here this evening? No, Ariel is not here this evening. Ariel was a Coca-Cola scholar, one of 150 Coca-Cola scholars nationwide, selected this year, and he received a $20,000 scholarship. He will be headed to Princeton University in the fall. If he was here, I'd ask him to stay up because we're going to go on to the National Merit Scholarship finalists. I'd like Evan Battaglia, Justin Esposito, and Brian Gu to please come up. No finalists are here, much like Marlboro High School. I'll put it out there. But congratulations to them. They represent the top 1% of all PSAT candidates. Brian is also not going to stay up here. I'd like William Kang, Aditya Jaturi, Tarun Pilabul Akil, Michael Yakubov, Mark Chen, David Lau, Kenneth Erickson, Shreyas Selvaraj, Michael Clark, Suresh Diatali, Aviva Kern, Melissa Kwong, and Kaushik Prakash to come up front as well. represent Manalapan High School Shore Math League team. This past season, our team finished first place in the Shore Math League. Throughout the course of the season, members of the team take 6 math exams outside of the school day and in various locations throughout the Shore. It is also worth noting that Tarun finished in first place overall, and Brian, William, and Michael all tied for second place in the Shore Math League individually. We had great performances all season long by all of the team members. Congratulations. Is Talal Bibnatwala here? No, thank you. Got an answer. Talal was a New Jersey scholar, one of 39 students selected from across the state. I would also have to mention that Talal won the Monmouth County portion of the Monmouth County Chemistry Olympiad this past winter. Brian Sharon. Brian Sharon is not here. He will be representing us at the Governor's School of Engineering and Technology. Kate Brennan. I see the Brennans right in the middle. Kate Brennan, come on down. Kate Brennan recently won several Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. She received a Gold Key Award for journalism, a Silver Key for her short story, and an honorable mention for a personal memoir. Furthermore, she was honored at an award ceremony held at Rutgers University. Her Gold Key journalism piece titled How Art Saved Asbury Park was submitted for national level recognition. Kate then received a silver medal for this piece nationally. Overall, Kate's article finished in the top 1% of the 350,000 entries. Now, there might be a little bit of sibling rivalry, but I'm not sure. Carly Ann Brennan, come on down. For the past 2 years, the George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick has hosted the Rags to Runway competition. Students are provided with $100 to purchase rags from local thrift shops. Students must transform the rags and recreate them for the runway. This year, Carly Ann won first place in the special event category, which was classic novel. Carly Ann's winning ensemble was designed for the character Skeeter from the novel The Help. Great job, Carly Ann. Now I ask Alana Grinberg, Erin Walsh, and Annabella DeToda to come down to the front. All three finishing strong. At the State Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America Leadership Conference, students are able to demonstrate their skills and display projects while enjoying the inspirational messages of motivational speakers. Additionally, there is a statewide competition. This year at the state conference, Erin Walsh, a senior, took home first place in the Fashion Runway Evening Wear competition. Annabella DeToda, a freshman, won gold in the Fashion Runway Sportswear competition. And sophomore Alana Grinberg took home a gold in cake decorating. She also received a $750 scholarship offer to Johnson & Wales, as well as an $1,800 scholarship offer to Walnut Hill College. Congratulations, ladies. Athletics was running late at Manalapan High School today, so Mr. Taylor handed off his notes to me. He was able to make it. He's up here with me. But I took Mr. Taylor's notes and made them my notes. There is no way he's going to be able to sift through this now. So I'm going to stick up here for athletics. Luke Courcione was announced by the... Luke, come on down. Let's get Luke Courcione down here first. was announced by the Maxwell Football Club as a 2017 New Jersey Minimax High School Award winner. Players were nominated by their coaches throughout the 2017 season and were evaluated based on a criterion that includes football performance, academics, and community service. Luke is a tremendous leader at Manalapan High School, both on and off the field. He will be attending TCNJ next year, and he does plan to continue his football career. I'm now going to call down a few of Luke's teammates: Antonio Dieso, Tommy Pierce, Sal Tardona, Saimir Blacknell, Naeem Mayfield, and Trevor Dosevich. These gentlemen were all named APP Athletes of the Year for football and were part of our A North Division Championship team. Antonio at defensive lineman, Tommy at linebacker, Sal at linebacker, Saimir at defensive back, Naeem at running back, and Trevor at offensive line. Trevor is headed to UPenn in the fall, Naeem to Fordham, Saimir to the University of New Hampshire, Sal also to TCNJ, Antonio also to TCNJ, and we get Tommy Pierce back for one more year. Thank you, gentlemen. And last but not least, our wrestlers. And I know we have two of our three district champs. Can Paul Santamarco and Matt Benedetti please come down? Not with us this evening is Alex Barron, who is a district champ, a District 21 champ at 138 pounds. Paul Santamarco is a District 21 champ at 126 pounds with 80 wins on his career. He is only a junior and will be back again next year. Matt Benedetti is the youngest of our district champs. He is a sophomore. In his first two seasons, he has 44 wins with 19 pins. Matt also finished third in Region 6 and advanced to the top 16 in the NJSIA state tournament. Congratulations, gentlemen. And that concludes Manalapan High School. Mr. Sampson?
Let's call Mr. Broderman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're the last hurrah tonight. I'm sure the wrestlers back there had a difficult time staying quiet and sitting still, so we appreciate that. Like my colleagues, I'd like to thank the Board of Education, Mr. Sampson, and everyone for all their support, and congratulate the athletes and the clubs and activities and academics that met this evening. First, I'd like to start off by talking about our TSA. We're fortunate to have a very, very strong TSA run by Ms. Sherry Roses. I'd like to call down a couple of members that I'd like to say a few words about. If you're here, Dimitri Allen, Deanna Lucas, James Giddy, and David Wagenblast. If you guys are in the audience tonight. TSA competition, must not have got back in time. Okay, the next person I'd like to introduce is the second one of the evening, somebody who earned an 800 score on their math SAT, Mr. Alex Peterson. Alex is here. Great job, Alex. Next, indoor track. We had a state champ this year. We have a lot of state champs here in the building tonight. I'm going to talk about the winter track state champ, and then I'm going to turn over to Mr. Meehan. State track, state champion, South Jersey, Group 5, shot put, Ms. Hannah Rosenberg. Hannah. Hannah will be getting 2 medals tonight for being a state champ in cheerleading and in track and field. Okay. Next, I'd like to call up Mr. Meehan, our Supervisor of Extracurricular Activities. He's going to announce our state champion wrestling team and state champion cheerleaders.
Thank you, Mr. Browerman, and thank you all for staying. I know it's a long night. I have many students to go through right now. Go back on Hannah Rosenberg's. Hannah was our South Jersey Group 4 champion shot put with a throw of 38 feet, 10.5 inches. Nice job, Hannah. I'd like to begin by calling up our cheerleading team. Our cheerleading team won all of their 10 local competitions that they joined this year and were undefeated as they went into states. They won their 4th consecutive state championship title in Group 4 in all music division. They also finished 2nd place at nationals in Orlando, Florida. I'd like to call them up. Start with our seniors: Emily Burke, Morgan Diaz, Tracy Erickson, Deanna McGee, Natalie McGee, Olivia Ramos, Paige Risley. Our juniors: Amanda Bailey, Nicole Gervasi, Morgan Gonzalez, Kayla Kowalski, Catherine Perry, Angelina Pesci, Allison Pinkert, and Hannah Rosenbergs. Our sophomores: Hannah Abadamarco, Juliana Barron, Gianna Cataldo, Rachel Hannerhan, Kylie McGowan, Jessica McGee, Megan Mylod, Brianna Palmieri, Julia Schneider, Olivia Torciello, and Shelby Tremblay. Our freshmen on the team: Rebecca Mazik, Samantha Perry, Grace Quigley, Sophia Sorrentos, Gianna Tomeno, and Kayla Walsh. Congratulations, ladies, our 2018 All-State Cheer Team. I'd also like to thank our coaches that were present this evening. Ms. Ashley Dodds, Ms. Kowalski, and Mrs. Deanna Martin, which could not be here. Thank you, coaches. Now I'd like to call up our wrestling team. Our 2017-18 wrestling team this year went 32-0 in competition. They were named the #1 public school in New Jersey. They won their 13th consecutive A North Division title. They were District 22 champs, and they were back-to-back Group 5 state champions. Excellent job. I'd like to thank Coach Gagliano and his army of coaches that we hit the mat with every day. What an entourage we have. We are definitely a lucky school here to have such talent and coaching with our kids. I'm going to do this one backwards. I'm going to bring the 9th graders up first. I'd like to call up Paul Jacob, Jameer Mayfield, and Kyle Nace. Our sophomores: John Coyle, Bobby Devine, Ethan Lipson, Luke Rada, Shane Reitzma, first in districts, and finished 6th place at the NJSA tournament in Atlantic City. Tony Santamarco and Justin Wright. Our juniors: Anthony Cosmano, Darby Dietrich, first team All Shore, first in districts, first in regions. Austin Friedman, Pierce Gomez, Xavier Kelly, Christian Murphy, first in districts, first in regions. Jake Nace, Evan Richard, MJ Rivero, Joe Sardina, Gallo Velashis, and Jacob Wertz. Those are our 11th graders. For our seniors, Pat Anderson, Alex Brandel, Lucas Berlo-Boyan, Chris DeMarco, Dan Esposito, first in districts, finished his career with 110 wins. Rashawn Hansford, Jesse Lipson, Jerry Leshy, first team All Shore, first in districts, finished 8th at the NJSA tournament. Zach McConville, Eric McGarrett, Eli Orford, Matt Picone, Scott Prendergrass, Mike Venitos. In the band, Kyle Slendorn, first team All Shore, first team districts. He finished 2nd at the NJSA tournament. He tied the shore conference record for 158 wins in his career. Congratulations, Kyle. Congratulations. Nice job, man. Yes, sir.
Thank you, folks. We'll take a 2-minute recess at this point. All right, I'm just going to continue with my report. Just a few items. First and foremost, on Friday afternoon, although it was not announced till today, and we did it in a surprise ceremony, Todd Curtis, who is a social studies teacher here at Howell High School, was named the Monmouth County Teacher of the Year. That's a nice honor for the district, first and foremost, but it's a real rigorous application. What ends up happening is each building in the county selects a Teacher of the Year. Those folks then submit applications to a panel of about 12 individuals that rate and evaluate the applications, and they're blind scored and they're double scored, and you ultimately end up with 4 finalists, and then it's narrowed down to the finalist. So it's sort of a real extensive 3-round process, and it's a wonderful testament to the district that Mr. Curtis has been so recognized. And Dr. Richens, the county superintendent of the schools, was kind enough. We didn't know this until this morning, but he had done his student teaching at Howell High School when it was known as Southern Freehold Regional. And so he came to the school in the morning, and we walked into one of Mr. Curtis's classrooms and surprised him with the announcement, which was a wonderful, great way to spend the morning. I'll take that morning any day of the week. A few other odds and ends. Our 11th grade post-secondary planning evening was held at Colts Neck High School about a week and a half ago. That's become an annual event for us, where we bring a number of college admissions officers together to talk about not just the application process, but what they're looking at in applicants, and really they do a wonderful job, I think, first and foremost, of dispelling a lot of myths for our parents. It's usually a very well attended evening, and it went very well once again this year. We also had our first annual career and job fair at Manalapan High School last week, and it was snowed out originally, so it was even on a snow date. We still had over 60 different local entities who were looking to hire folks come out on that evening. It was terrifically attended from across the district for students looking for summer employment and employment after high school and career opportunities. And it was definitely a smash, and it's certainly something that we're going to continue in the future. I think it really appealed to our parents in particular, who were able to come in with their son or daughter and talk to prospective employers about what they were looking for. So that evening was terrific. We also, over the past couple of weeks, have engaged in some real-time professional development. So we have a contract with Dr. Milo, who's a sort of renowned mathematician, and what he's done, which I think is a little bit different than most PD, is we've actually embedded him in classrooms here where he teaches a lesson. Our teachers observe the lesson, debrief, and then one of our instructors teaches the lesson that he also modeled. And so when you're talking about sort of the most effective pedagogical strategies and what they look like in the classroom, to come into a classroom of high school students cold, do it in front of a room full of teachers, and then have the teachers do it and have them sort of debrief with each other about what went well and how it can be improved, I think has been a really powerful and transformative professional development experience for our algebra teachers across the district, and the feedback has been phenomenal on that. We were also recognized, the APP ran a wonderful article over our career pathway program at Freehold High School. And we've said it a number of times, but I don't think folks always fully realize that we're one of 9 districts in the state that received a $500,000 grant a couple years ago to put in career pathway programs at a high school. And what we elected to do was a web design pathway at Freehold High School, followed by a health services pathway at Freehold High School. And some of the board members, some of our committee meetings have been held in one of the rooms that we updated there with that grant funding. But it's really novel in the sense that we have true industry partners there. And we moved beyond just sort of joining with a community entity and really embedding with some folks that are doing this for a living, who are coming out to our schools, telling us in real time what our curriculum looks like versus what they're seeing in the field, and then working with our students. We've certainly had a number of internships and such as a result of that. So it's been a powerful experience for the district. And last week, Dr. Hazel and I met with our executive student cabinet, and we're in the process. One of the things we started doing with those students a couple of years ago is, in June, we bring in all of our new teachers for the upcoming school year. And the first couple of years I was here, I would give a presentation and a talk about some of the things that I thought, if you're coming into the district as a new educator, what should you really be thinking about over the summer as you approach your position? And that came from, too often, school districts hiring folks and then bringing them into new teacher orientation in August and sort of turning them loose. And so we front-loaded that, and anybody that's hired, we have a day in June where we bring all of our new hires in and really lay out the district expectations and give them a jump start of this is what you should really be focused on over the summer to be successful for the students here in Freehold Regional. And then we sort of had the brainstorm that, you know what, instead of hearing it from us, let's let our students put that together for our new educators in the district. So the past couple of years, Dr. Hazel has really guided the exec student cabinet through the process of putting together an overview of what they expect from a really good teacher. And there's been some real powerful moments there. So we're in the process of putting that together for this year. And then finally, I know the board is being asked this evening to formally authorize the district moving forward on a $39.8 million referendum. And I want to address a few questions that I know board members have received from the public and input that I've received from some members of the public. Just a couple of thoughts here. One, Mr. Boyce presented the overview of what's in the referendum on our March 19th board meeting, and that's up on our district website for folks to really take a look at. We've been incredibly deliberate about how we put that together, and it really falls into 4 phases. A security upgrade across the district, where all 6 high schools will receive new entrances, improved man traps, and we will improve the security in all of our classrooms in all 6 high schools with interlocking deadbolts and sheen on our glass. So once our students are locked down in a classroom here, they'll be completely secure. And folks know that in Parkland, unfortunately, what happened was the young man stuck his AR-15 through the glass in the classroom and scattershot at some students. It's unfortunate that we have to worry about that, but we do. So that's one phase of it. The other phase are updating specific STEM areas in all 6 of our high schools. We're taking some of our larger technology, engineering, and science spaces and equipping them for the future and making sure that there's a lot of flexibility with what we're able to do moving forward there. Third point is an infrastructure, an awful lot of paving, roofing, boiler at Marlboro High School, which is the original to the building. It's over 50 years old. And we've been responsible about this. The paving, we could honestly do a referendum just on the paving. We've prioritized that in 3 areas: priority 1, priority 2, and priority 3. The referendum is only addressing the priority 1 paving, but there's certainly a need across the district in all 6 spaces. The 4th phase is an athletics phase where we've thrown bad money over and over and over to sort of duct tape together our tennis courts across the district. So we're going to repair all of our tennis courts across the district. In some cases, at Manalapan in particular, bring them up to par with the other tennis courts in the 5 sister schools. And there'll be athletic fields done at Freehold Township, at Manalapan, and at Marlboro. And we are not putting lights at this point in time at Marlboro High School. I want to be clear on that. That was misconstrued in some of the follow-up from the last presentation. And then Freehold Borough, we're completely renovating the auditorium and restoring it. It's our smallest auditorium. It only fits about 400 folks at this point. We're going to expand that, modernize it. Colts Neck, we're going to pave the track, and we're going to absolutely upgrade the media center facility there. And the time for all of this is right. The debt that we've incurred from constructing Colts Neck High School in 1998 is coming off the books, and I want to state emphatically that this district didn't willy-nilly go into the process of saying let's have a referendum. We arrived at this after looking at this over a period of years, and Mr. Boyce and I have been talking about this probably since 2011, 2012, and waiting for the appropriate time to do it in a financially responsible manner. As the debt rolls off from the construction of Colts Neck High School, that is the appropriate time. So we are reinvesting 2/3 of that debt and giving the other third back as tax relief. So the overall picture is very positive from a strictly taxpayer standpoint. There have been questions about the timing of the referendum. I want to be clear on why we're going out for an October 2nd referendum versus on Election Day. First and foremost, we're not going to politicize the referendum and tangle it up with every local political issue across the board. As town councils and mayors are up for re-election, placing a referendum on the ballot with all of that will naturally politicize it, as candidates will certainly be asked to weigh in on it one way or the other. The second piece is the timing. We are able, and our financial advisor has been clear, that the opportunity to receive better bond rates is there in the October date rather than the November date. So if a $39.8 million project, roll that out over 20 years and have a better interest rate, the savings would be, extreme over a 20-year period. So we're going to go on that October date. The third reason for the October date, now I just want to be clear because we've been asked, and I know the board has been asked this, the third reason for the October date is the timing of everything. So we want to go out to bid, get these projects ready, start moving forward on the security prior to the new year, especially so that we can begin the 2-year construction process that this will take in the summer. October puts that deadline very tightly to get done for the new year. I've already upgraded my membership to Rook Coffee for Mr. Boyce. I'm confident that between October and December, he's going to get that done. But when we are talking to our financial advisor in other districts, the reason a number of them are going out in November is quite simply because they can't get their processes together in time to submit to the state, which Mr. Boyce and Ms. Smith were capable of doing here. So the timing is everything for that, and it's important for us. And as superintendent of schools, my charge here is to ensure the learning environment for our students, not just today, but most importantly tomorrow. And we have a responsibility to take care of some of these items, and I think that we have, we can say unequivocally that there is not any fluff in this referendum. We've been very deliberate about this. We've taken months and months and months to pull this together and to plan it. And we're here before the board tonight to ask for the authorization to move forward. It's certainly my recommendation to superintendent of schools that we move forward. And I think that our school community members will reap the benefits of that referendum long after all of us are gone from this stage. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Sampson. We're going to move on to the board reports. We'll start off with finance. Mr. Moses.
Yeah, the Finance Committee met last Thursday. Basically, it was about the referendum. The architect was there to help us bring out the major PowerPoints of the referendum. We talked about bond, council, tax assessments, and about how the projects for the referendum have to go to the state to determine the eligibility of the projects. By the time we go to vote in October 2nd, we will know what the state is going to pay towards the cost of the referendum. We also have to submit plans to local planning boards because we have to conform to the ordinances. We're putting out an RFP for bond council, which will be happening soon. And then the architect and Mr. Boyce went over where the money will be allocated for in the referendum. Major talking points for the referendum were state aid, which we won't know and probably until June 30th. And then also Mr. Boyce talked about health benefits and how we might look at other providers as long as the benefits stay the same, and also the feasibility of insuring ourselves. And then the rest of the meeting was taken up with money that's being spent for garbage collection, electrical work for the unit lunches, mobile serving stations, which I think was something like $312,000 it's going to cost us. And then bids and quotes are going out for bus maintenance, energy management, and RFP for the auditors will be going out, and next finance meeting will be May 14th. Before I conclude, I just want to thank, I don't think it's done enough, Mr. Boyce and Trish for the work that they do. We are very lucky to have a BA like Mr. Boyce.
That is for sure. I certainly second that. Moving on to the curriculum committee. We had a curriculum meeting back last week. I believe it was on Tuesday night. We spent most of the time talking about the magnet program application data. With respect to the class of 2022, 38.5% of rising ninth graders applied to one or more of our programs, which is a little bit down from the class of 2021, which was 39.9%. And what we did during the presentation was we heard about the testing data from all the 8 towns in the regional district. We looked at each individual magnet program, and we saw an analysis of the application data, the quality of the students who were admitted, how much overlap there was, whether one student applied to law public service or one to the business learning center or magnet program. So we saw a mix and match of every conceivable data point with respect to the magnet program spectrum here at Freehold Regional. One thing that did stand out is that law and public service saw the doubling of enrollment this year. With respect to the summer of 2018, we did hear about the math program in the district and the curriculum writing that was going on, and we also talked about professional development, which Mr. Sampson had referred to with respect to the professor from Rowan who had come into the district to work with our teachers. Because of the de-leveling of math, the administration wants to move first and foremost on math. And so there's going to be curriculum rewriting on Algebra 1 that's going to happen during July. Mr. Sampson also talked about the Career Pathways Grant. We had this meeting a couple of days before that article had come out in the newspaper, so we knew it was going to be coming. And then we also discussed some of the professional development surrounding going to the block schedule next school year. And that was basically it from the curriculum meeting.
If I can,
yes.
I was also in that meeting, been to a lot of meetings. Mrs. Howell had a big act to follow with, from Jefferson Moore before, and I got to say this, I really have to compliment you. As I go into meetings with an attitude, as some of my board members know, that was like the best presentation of data that I ever saw in the 6 years that I've been involved with the school district, and I really thank you for doing that. It was fabulous.
And it was so great that Sam and I were going to come back as teachers next year. We were so excited about it. That's what you think. Sam, we want to come back. It's so great. It was the enthusiasm in the committee. So we're going to be back as powers or something.
Okay, we are going to move on to the public's participation portion of the meeting. We have one person who signed up. It's Dara Ennie. And just so all my colleagues know, Ms. Ennie is actually on the Marlborough Township K-8 board, and she's the liaison between that board and this board. So her charge is to report back to the Marlborough K-8 with all the goings on at Freehold Regional. So Ms. Ennie, the floor is yours. No, we need you to speak into the microphone so it's recorded.
Do I have to give my name and address that we have to do by us?
Sure, just so you feel more comfortable.
So comfortable. It's Dara Ennie, 11 Kennedy Drive, Marlborough. Any opinion or question I ask is my own and not that of any board or committee that I currently serve on. My statement, the question is about the referendum. Last year, the Marlborough Board of Ed and the taxpayers were told that the special election would cost only a few $1,000s. It actually cost about $38,000 just to have the election on a different day. I'm wondering, how much are you anticipating this special election, which is only 4 weeks before the regular election, is going to cost the taxpayers? Considering this election covers 8 towns, won't that be approximately $200,000? I had two more questions. The next one is, how is the vote actually calculated amongst the towns? And the third question I had was, what was the rationale for holding the special election so close to the upcoming general election? And since you sort of answered them, I just want to make sure that I'm correct, that the three reasons that you gave were that you don't want to politicize it, that they're claiming that you have a better bond rate in that 4-week period, and that it's also those 4 short weeks gives you a much better timing to go out before the new year. So I was wondering if I got those correct for the rationale.
Okay, we'll take those in order. The first question was about the cost of it, and certainly I'm aware this is an issue because obviously with your Board of Education, you had gone out with a referendum that was not held on Election Day, and I know it might have been one of the reasons why it was defeated is because of the expense of holding the special election. So I think you could ask my colleagues here, because I have brought that up when we have been talking about this over the past couple of months, is that was really my one and only concern was about the expense. And I'm going to have Mr. Boyce talk about the expense because we did discuss, this was one of the things that was discussed at the Finance Committee meeting, which Mr. Moses had referenced earlier. So Mr. Boyce, do you want to express what we've learned so far about the cost?
So I made the rounds at the various county offices that have a portion of responsibility for conducting an election to talk to them about what are the range of costs that I can expect from their individual shops at the county. So I was able to get that information. I also cross-referenced that to some recent elections. Homedale, the business administrator from Homedale, provided me with the detail of the costs that he incurred, just so that I could corroborate the estimate that I was putting together. So we have 8 communities. However, not all of those communities are the same size. So the number of polling places in a particular community will drive the cost greatly, as you would expect. The total cost, we estimated at $115,000 roughly. That's if we are going it alone. If any other school districts also join in for an October referendum, then they would share in some county level costs and then only the costs within the polling places of their particular municipality. So that's the cost estimate for the special election.
And one of the things that I want to reference before, this was with respect to the second item you had brought up about the interest rates. And with respect to interest rates, I'm not obviously the financial advisor on this deal, but with respect to interest rates, one of the things that's going on in the financial markets right now, and essentially why the stock market's run into some turbulence, is that a lot of people, the market, is concerned that interest rates are going to be higher over the course of 2018. Like, whenever the stock market's down, that's the biggest reason why. And bond prices go down, why? Because the fears are higher interest rates. So if you're in an environment of higher interest rates, even though 4 weeks does seem like a very short amount of time, interest rates could move up in terms of percentages at a very high rate within a short period of time. So if we continue on this current rate, this current path of higher interest rates, I mean, it's a possibility that the interest rate that we would pay could actually increase 10% or more over a 4-week period. So I think that's one of the things the financial advisor is going on.
Right. The other consideration for that was the number of districts that are going to be going out in the November or December timeframe. We want to beat them to market for issuance because if the more bond issues that are available becomes a buyer's market, and that would certainly affect the interest rates as well. On the bid side of things, we also want to be sure to get our bid docs out on the streets prior to that competition. Same reason that the more work that's on the street at the same time, the higher the bid prices will typically come in, for that work. So we want that competition to be strong in the bid, and we want to be first to the street on that end of it also.
I use the analogy of potentially being penny wise and pound foolish over the cost of the election versus the potential long-term savings of what that might actually realize depending on the timeline. It's the October 2nd date because it's technically, there are 4 times during the year that you can go out for a referendum. It's really the end of September, but there's a holiday, I think, so it falls onto October 2nd. It makes a huge difference, and we have our process together and are ready to move forward in October, and other districts aren't, and we know that they're going to be going out in November and December, and it makes all the sense in the world to be out first.
And one other thing, Dara, and I've actually gotten phone calls, I've had communication with 3 different taxpayers. Their issue is, they're in agreement with respect to the purposes of the money that we're raising. Their common issue and the reason why they're not happy is because of the expenditure of the election. And one thing to remember is that, and I'm just speaking here from Marlboro, since you're here from Marlboro, Marlboro pays 23% of the taxes in the district. So, whenever I have communication with someone from Marlboro, I do try to relay that to them, that it's not each of our individual towns that is forking over $115,000. It's, obviously everyone has their certain percentage, so it needs to be put in context. And, I will say the 3 people I talked to didn't quite agree with me on that, but, that's the way I see it. I think everyone on the board, and certainly, I don't want to speak for anybody, and everyone's free to give their opinion, but I think we're all in agreement with Mr. Sampson's rationale for the timing of it, and really the total cost of the referendum. Does anybody else want to have anything to say to Ms. Ennie? Okay. Any other questions? Oh, okay. In case the recording wasn't picking it up, Ms. Ennie is asking about the votes, and I assume you're talking about combining the 8 towns? Okay. This is a question I've asked before. I don't know who's the official party here that wants to give the official response back about how everyone's combined, all 8 towns. It's not like it has to win in a majority of the towns.
That's
all
right.
the voters.
Think of it as one big municipality.
So Dara, basically, there's a certain, all the 8 towns are merged into one and has to win a majority of the vote in all 8 towns. So theoretically, it could get no votes in one town, but still pass.
Right, regardless of their town. Not on the vote.
Right.
That's all.
Thank you for coming all this way. I know it's a long drive. Okay, there is no one else signed up for public participation, so we're going to move the agenda forward. We'll take up G1 through G3, and Mr. Boyce is going to add something to what we're going to be voting on, some late additions.
So in the back of the room, I believe there's an addendum to G4. There are 3 additional staff members listed on that. Nicole Bendick, Stravos Andros, Carrie O'Neill, and Diane Canella. Those are additions to the G4 that appears on the agenda. Corrections to the agenda that was distributed all in G4. There are a few of them here, so I will walk through them. On page 2, Tiffany Labreco, her step should read step 2, not step 3. That's on page 2. On page 14, the reappointment for Erin Greco is for a part-time employment of 7/11 for a salary of $58,103, and that's reflected on page 14. And then on page 16, the salaries for 5 supervisors of extracurricular activities should read as follows. Rick Arneo, $112,000, step 5. Adam Brashadi, $108,500, step 3. Jason Longo, $110,250, step 4. Pete Meehan, $114,000, step 6. And Rodney Taylor, $107,000, step 2. On page 18, building supervisors, the following 3 should read step 12 and not off guide: Todd Ganseret, Diana Jeffries, and William Merrill, and that's on page 18. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So at this point in time, we're going to look at G1 through G3. So at this point in time, I am looking for a motion to adopt a resolution to approve G1, which is approval of resignations, G2, approval of retirements, and G3, approval of appointments. Is any?
Second.
Okay.
Ms. 2 was the first one, Jen and Sam.
Okay. Roll, please.
Mr. Acetola?
Yes.
Mrs. Cappiello?
Yes.
Mr. Carollo?
Yes.
Mrs. Fankhauser?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes, I also want to state that this district is saying goodbye to Doug Gulbert, who was a student assistant coordinator over 26 years, and we were lucky to have. He's an excellent person to have in this district.
Mrs. Sutera?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Messner?
Yes. Okay. We are going to move on to G4, which is the approval of reappointments for the 2018-2019 school year. Does anybody want to put forth a motion to adopt a resolution for G4?
Motion.
Mr. Bruno, yes, sir. Ready for the roll call?
Mr. Acetola?
Yes to all for G4, no to Donna Evangelista.
Mrs. Cappiello?
Yes to everything on G4 except for Michael Cappiello, Annette Kinsley, Merle Norge, Craig Chern, Michelle England, Brian Post, Pete Meehan, and Jeremy Broderman. I abstain on those.
Mr. Carollo?
Yes to all.
Mrs. Fankhauser?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes to all on G4 except for Donna Evangelista.
Mrs. Sutera?
Yes to all on G4 except for Donna Evangelista.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes to all except for Jeanette Bruno and Dr. David Brinkley. Abstain.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes to all, but no to proposed salary for Donna Evangelista. Okay, we are then going to move on to G5.
Mr. Boyce, just the resolution for, I apologize, I'm just out of space. The resolution in G4 as it relates to Donna Evangelista does not pass.
Correct. 4.6. No.
Okay, next up, we're going to take G5 through G16 on one ballot. Does anybody want to put forth a motion to adopt the resolution to approve G5 through G16?
Second.
Okay, can we have the roll, please?
Mr. Asatola?
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes, but abstain on G5 to Dr. Hazel and abstain on G16.
Mr. Corolla?
Yes.
Mrs. Fankhauser?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotera?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes. All right, next up is H1 through K2. And this includes I1, which is moving forward with the process of the referendum, which obviously we've talked about. Does anybody want to put forth a motion to adopt the resolution to accept H1 through K2?
Motion. Second.
I have Mr. Corolla as making the motion, Mr. Moses as the second.
Okay, anybody have any comments now that that motion's out there? All right then, Mr. Boyce.
Mr. Asatola?
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes on everything except K1. I abstain on Mr. Sampson and Dr. Hazel.
Mr. Corolla?
Yes.
Mrs. Fankhauser?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotera?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes, except I abstain from K1.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes. All right, we're going to move on to old business. Does anybody have anything for old business? Okay, I just wanted to point something out with respect to old business. You may recall at our last meeting during the public participation, we had a gentleman, Mr. McMeans from Marlborough, come speak. Had to do with our policies regarding homeschooling. And just so everybody knows, in fact, the administration has reached out to him. So there will be communication and he will receive an answer to his questions and concerns about the district. Okay, anybody have any new business? All right then. Does anybody want to put forth a motion to adopt the resolution to adjourn the meeting for this evening?
Second.
She's in. Okay. Mr. Asatola?
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes.
Mr. Corolla?
Yes.
Mrs. Fankhauser? Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Mrs. Sotera?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes.
The order adjourned.
Folks, before everybody leaves, this is not part of the meeting, but I have the teen driver safety booklet. If everyone can take a minute and vote on this so that we can get this selected.